in Australia, the big one coming up next, the big one, is Tszyu versus Jack Brubaker.
Yeah.
It's going to be here down here in Sydney. It's a great card, even with Justin Hodges on it. It's a great card.
Yep.
How do you see this fight going?
Well, it's essentially Australia's next boxing superstar in Tszyu against Australia's most entertaining fighter in Jack Brubaker. Jack Brubaker's fight against Ty Telford, if anyone listening hasn't seen it, you'd simply have to. It was on the Tszyu Camilleri undercard. And Jack's the sort of guy, or has been at least until this point, who will take 5 punches to give back 10. And, not particularly good for him long term. And that's what Jeff Fennick, as his new trainer, is trying to change. But it makes for some very compelling viewing. And he's going to be in front of Tszyu, you would think, unless he can, really change his style between now and then. And we get to see how Tim copes with that sort of pressure that a wild man like that brings. And it's a good opportunity for Tim, if he's on his game and if he's as good as a lot of people think he is, to make a statement and to show his precision and show his class.
I have a story out just today. Jack Brubaker saying Tszyu hasn't been tested the way he's going to test him. Obviously, he's going to say that. But is there something to that? Has Tszyu seen anything like Jack Brubaker? What he's going to bring?
Well, thinking about his opponents, he's fought, in his 2 main event pay-per-view headline performances to date. Joel Camilleri, an extremely awkward character, but a man who goes backwards a lot, makes you look silly because he doesn't engage and then he does. And Tim did pretty well with him. And then obviously the late Dwight Ritchie, who was just a magnificent boxer, moved so well, didn't punch with a great deal of power, but just a really gifted Indigenous boxer and clearly someone who's awfully missed already. It was tragically taken from us only recently, but Dwight was a different sort of opponent for Tim. He was there to box. He was there. A lot of people thought, Dwight's going to be too slick for him. He's going to move too well. He's too experienced. He's boxing in his genes, as Tim obviously does. But as it turned out, Tim sort of went to another level that night. But neither of those guys are just in your face looking to brawl like what Jack Brubaker is. So no, he probably hasn't been tested in this way. But you'd think that he's prepared for this kind of opponent. But I like Jack. I can't wait.
It's going to be great. And mate, I don't know whether Jack should, or maybe he will, or if he doesn't want to change his style. Because he could go out, walk out and get knocked out in 2 minutes, or he could knock out Tim if he comes out like that and knock Tim out in 2 minutes.
It'd be quite an achievement to knock him out, though, because you saw what happened with Ty Telford. Ty Telford hit him with 40 knockout shots, right hands, and he didn't go down. He went down off a jab early, but just because it was to the guts. And it wasn't called a knockdown.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I still haven't. I don't know. It's boxing.
Sensational fight.
Yeah. So I don't know what'll happen, but we're just moments ago putting together the structure of the undercard, and there's some brilliant fights. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Kiwi David Light fight against Trent Broadhurst at cruiserweight, which is a really, really good fight. Nathaniel May fights Bruno Tarimo, who's a really entertaining come forward fighter. A couple other good fights. So it's going to be a really good night, December 6th.
You mentioned Dwight Ritchie.
Yeah,
he was going to fight Tommy Brown.
Yeah, he was scheduled to fight in the co-main event against Tommy Brown on December 6th. So as we have been doing at all of the shows, there'll be a tribute, obviously, to Dwight Ritchie. And for anyone who hasn't already, you can donate to the GoFundMe page, which is raising funds for Dwight Ritchie's 3 young children, all under the age of 10, who have been left behind, and his partner, who obviously are experiencing an incredible loss. I'll be going to the funeral on Monday in Shepparton, as will the vast majority of the Australian boxing community, because it's a terrible, terrible tragedy and really sad, and just a hideous backstory to this as well. You mentioned that he was meant to be fighting against Tommy Brown, Dwight Ritchie. Tommy obviously lost his brother, Davey Brown, only 4 years ago. So Tommy's now off the card. I haven't spoken to Tommy, but it's just the what ifs and the what could have been. It's just that's tough.
And I'll put a link in the show notes to the GoFundMe page for anyone listening. Encourage you to go donate what you can to Dwight Ritchie's young family.